Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 12 of the Jets Nations podcast. I'm your host, Anton Kreening, joined, as always, by co-host Graham Shingleton and Oilers correspondent Cam Brakel. Boys, how we doing? Tough week for everyone in this room on this pod right now.
As a whole,
Yeah.
Canadian sports teams.
Bad enough being a Jets fan, now even worse just being a Canada fan. Now we have two teams to be pissed off with this season. Who wants to start? I don't know. I guess we'll start off with the World Juniors. I don't know. Cam, let's start with you. What did you think of Team Canada's performance? We won bronze, so we won't be
Medalists.
Yeah, because there was a stat that came out that this would be the first time since 1979 that we'd go 3 years in a row without medaling. So at least we didn't do that. Did any of you guys watch that game against Finland today? I kind of just had it on in the background. I did not really care to watch it.
I was in and out because I was at work for most of it, but
Yeah,
I think one of the only bright lights of the day was I'm pretty sure Perrick tied or beat the all-time Canadian record for points as a defenseman in the tournament.
he beat
Which
it.
is kind of
beat
crazy.
Yeah, I guess if he didn't look like Bouchard out there, just no defense whatsoever. He is a very good player, but yeah, obviously Sweden up right now on check. That's what happens when there's actually an ounce of team defense being played. I don't know how you guys felt about it. I guess I can start, but we sort of talked about this during the game yesterday, Graham, that the amount of 3-on-2s, 2-on-1s where there were zero back checkers coming back, the amount of careless plays and stuff too. The Perek had two absolute pizzas up the middle. He wasn't the only one, but he was kind of the obvious one.
On a couple horrible turnovers that turned into goals for the Czechs. That one was from, I think, Coots behind the net. It was a super weird play. It was a super routine, either rim or just a spin around up the boards. And he went on the backhand, kind of fumbled it, but also kind of just muffined it, which happens. But went right to the Czech forward forechecking. He gets it out front. And then they buried it. I think that was their first or second goal. And then that kind of broken down 2-on-1 that Ethan McKenzie turned it over at the blue line, came down on that number 20 on Czech scored. That was a really bad turnover too. But little mistakes like that obviously happen here and there. But there was just some glaring mistakes from people that, ended up costing us. But a super, super, super fun game. Obviously a shitty ending for us. But kind of like we mentioned yesterday, on the videos, I think that the Czechs deserve to win that game. It was, I haven't seen, I wouldn't call it domination, but I haven't seen Canada I guess beat like that in a long time. The shot count alone, that Ivan Kovic, or I can't remember, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he had to be prime Hasek for parts of that game. Prime Connor Hellebuck, if you will. But he had to stand on his head. I think the final shot count was 38-26, 38-25 or something like that. It was a really, really, really telling game that I think the Czechs can and should probably win the gold medal, which is kind of crazy to talk about.
Yeah, they sort of brought it up on Chicklets today that Czech almost brought Canada's game to Canada this year in just the physicality and the grittiness that we are usually known for. And I kind of agree. We were not very physical. It was very rinky-dink hockey from Team Canada this year. Our stars weren't stars. I didn't think Gavin McKenna had exactly a great tournament.
I thought Michael Mesa fucking played horrible.
Well,
he had that really nice pass to Tej to give us our first goal, but
okay, but what did he do all tournament? You're a second overall pick. You're the guy that they cut last year, and he came and did nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
he
there's
did not make an
definitely
impact.
there is definitely flashes and definitely like good parts of certain games for him. I don't think that he like took over the tournament like people probably expected him to, nor did McKenna, although I mean they both put up a fair amount of points. Like I mean, I'd say it's a quiet. I think McKenna put up 10 or 11 points, but
McKenna put up 14.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well then, yeah, I would say the quietest 14-point performance ever. Like, I think he had 4 goals, 10 assists, but I think he had 3 or 4 points in the Slovakia game. I think he
He had 4 points. He had against Finland.
yeah. So, I mean, again, did he play well in certain aspects of the game? Yes, but I mean, it's kind of like those moments. Like, I saw a video or a tweet today, like, about how much like the World Juniors kind of like defined and made Connor Bedard like his name, like that overtime goal versus Slovakia, his point production, like just showing up in big moments. I feel like that was huge for him. And I just feel like other than maybe Age, and I mean, Parekh obviously had a great tournament offensively. I feel like there were, like, even Mike Johnson kind of mentioned it on the broadcast yesterday. Like, the Czechs came into the game not really knowing who to target to shut down because Canada has a lot of depth, but there wasn't really like a star player that they had that was like, he's our focus for the game and we've got to get on him. You know what I mean? But that's kind of my take on it. What do you think, Bender is?
I don't know. I kind of, yeah. I didn't think our stars really played that good. I don't know. That being said, I mean, I've said this to you guys a few times that like I go back a couple of years. I don't remember like Celebrini having that great of a World Juniors and stuff and still ended up being a star in the NHL. I guess my question for you guys is, do you think McKenna will be a star in the NHL even after this? Dumb question, but
I mean, a lot of it's based on eye test, and I mean that can be very faulty in certain aspects, but like from what I would say is, and again, I could be wrong, you guys can correct me, but like it seems like he plays a very one-dimensional game. Like if the puck luck isn't going his way, or you know, he doesn't have like a flashy move or you know, something like that right off the bat, he seems like he kind of tunes out of the game. And I mean, he's always going to be nifty, shifty, and you know, exciting on the power play. And you know, in that aspect, because I mean, again, the good players always shine, but you know, again, coming into the NHL, it's a very different animal, you know, unless you're putting up McDavid, McKinnon numbers, you know, you gotta kind of be either, you know, very strong at forecheck, and you gotta be physical, you gotta be, you know, you gotta have a world-class shot, and I'm sure he's got great hands, good shot, but it doesn't seem like he's got like that kind of oomph that is going to translate immediately into the NHL. But I mean, I could be sitting here, you know, in December of this year when he's playing on a team and he's 2 months in, he's got 20 points in 20 games, you know, but at least from eye test in the tournament, like it didn't really seem like he had that ability to kind of take it over as some other players have in the past. But
yeah.
One thing I also did want to mention too is Breaks may know this a little bit better than me, but I don't think Carter Bear played a minute in this tournament.
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
He played against Denmark. He played like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
That's another thing I saw online. It's like people were calling for him to be playing more because like great two-way forward. Like he's in on the forecheck. He gets in the corners. Like that was what they're missing against Czechia. So maybe coaching decisions, but
I also, so sorry to cut you off. Another point too, I mean, he didn't really do much, but I know me and Breaks had talked to, well, I mean, much, I guess is a interesting word choice, but that Keaton Verhoff that I know I was high on, you were high on that, I think it was Bob Stauffer in that Chicklets interview said he's like unbelievable. I know he's an underager, like he's still wearing a cage, but I mean, I didn't think that he was unbelievable. I know he's in a little bit of a limited minutes role.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Same with that Carson Carrolls. Both he's a Manitoba guy. Like I didn't think that he was great, but also the decision in that Czech game to go 8 defensemen and 11 forwards. think, or no, sorry, 8 defensemen, 12 forwards instead of 13 forwards and 7D was interesting.
And then Martin got hurt,
And then
so it
Martin
ended
got-
up being 11 forwards.
So it was just a blender. It was a blender after the first period, which, I mean, when you've got that much skill on a roster, I mean, they should be able to gel and mesh together pretty easily. But, I mean, I really think that once that happened, like, I mean, we generated some offense on 5-on-5, but, I mean, a lot of our offense came on the power play, which was, like, clipping it 50% for the tournament or something. It was insane. So,
Yeah.
I think that really hurt us.
I know, Graham, you saw it, but Anton, did you see what Prek said to the media today?
Today?
Oh, like about the NHL and
heard-
shit like that?
Oh, was that today? Why did
was
I think it was
yesterday.
yesterday? But
No,
about how like he doesn't like how NHL players don't have any personality.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
that
yeah.
And
one?
apparently, like, yeah, there was a report that came out that said, like, the apparently
Claims players,
Calgary-
management, and coaches were not happy with Prek's comments.
Yeah.
And then his comment was, I think it's more watching NHL guys be robots, not having any personality. I think you need some personality. It's the best way to grow the game. I don't want to come in here be a robot. When I'm in Calgary, I definitely have a lot of guys telling me to give really simple answers, but here I kind of do what I want.
That last sentence
He's
is
not-
interesting. But
Yeah. I don't disagree with what he was saying. Do I think he could have put it in a better way? Yeah.
Or
Do
just
I
not
also-
said
or
that,
just
like-
not say it is what I was gonna say next. Like
I mean,
there was
I,
no reason for him to come out and
I do think that he's got a point to a certain aspect. Like, I mean, I think that last comment about, like, here I can kind of do what I want is a little bit interesting. But I do think that is a big thing missing from NHL is personalities. I know each sport has their own and some people love it, some people hate it, but like the whole running joke in NHL media is like, oh, so, what do you guys think that, you really excelled at tonight? Oh, well, I think we got pucks in deep and, we were good on the forecheck and, we played a really good team game and, when you get, shots on net, you typically, have a good chance at winning. Like, that's typically what you get, which I mean is fair, but it's also really fun to have big personality, which is why I think Jarvis has become such a focal point of like marketing for the NHL. Like even his comments the other day about like eating a shit sandwich when he didn't get selected to the Olympic roster. Like, I think that's awesome. I think that's super
Yeah.
cool. There's definitely a way to do it where I think the end of that Perret comment basically saying like, I can do what I want. I don't know if I agree with that, but I agree with the point of like having a personality is big.
Yeah, but what is the NHL supposed to do about that? They're taking the best, most skilled players to their teams and stuff. They're not taking guys who are outspoken and personalities, right? Like what?
They're looking
I don't
for
know
the
what
best off the
exactly,
talent,
like-
not looking for the funniest guy.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
they're not-
Like what is Perek trying to say? Is that like NHL players should be more outgoing and stuff? Like
No,
I think the league is fine.
I think what he's trying to say is like on the point that I just made, like all these interviews and comments from like media and personality and, players in the league, it's all just very, like very bland. Like I think that
I think the NHL needs more media personality like Biz. Like,
yeah,
do you guys see him at the
Yeah.
Winter Classic?
Yeah.
When he like went on stage and like was like twerking and then he like was like rubbing his jacket between his fucking.
yeah, but I mean,
That's a great point.
He's like an outlier. He needs
But that's gonna grow the game more than a player in a post game
100%.
interview being like what are they gonna say? Oh yeah, we sucked. Like you're
No,
not gonna
no.
be like straight
Even
up
as-
about it. Like
I
Even
agree.
as sick as it is to have Wayne Gretzky on the broadcast and whatever, like even he gets kind of boring to listen to every now and then. Like he's not a huge person. It's Wayne Gretzky, okay? But
I agree
just
with the
different
fact that you
perspectives.
need like good media
You need a mix.
personalities. Like I think that Biz is unbelievable for the game. Like and what the NBA did with the TNT panel with Shaq and Barkley and Ernie and the Jet. Like I think that that's awesome. I think the NHL needs something similar, which I guess Biz is kind of that. But I also think that it would be kind of cool. It is cool to have a guy like Jarvis who makes those kind of funny comments here and there. I think that that's that's big, and that generates a lot of traction for the league as well.
Yeah, I think if Parekh wants to come into the league and be a big personality, which I'm sure he's going to be, and he's kind of made a name for himself in that presser that he is a personality, then that's great. But I don't think there's any reason for him to say that other than, I don't know, for his own personal game and stuff, if that sort of makes sense. Like,
That's
to
fair.
Yeah.
make a name for himself. Like, that being said, he just broke Team Canada's record on defense and stuff too, so I'm not sure he really needed to do that either. I don't know. I don't know exactly where I'm going with that, other than that kid kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit, not just with like that presser, but just with his play in these World Juniors. Again, I think he looked great. I said last podcast, he looked like our best player on the team, period. Like, super skilled, great offensive defenseman, but like some of the lack on defense and stuff, and just on that last empty netter there where he basically just gave up on the play, like that one
And
in
McKenna gave
particular
up on
was
on the play behind the net on that same
True.
goal.
True.
Like,
Yeah. Well, and
think-
then go ahead.
I wonder, like kind of Biz was talking, it's like this new generation, it's like they don't have that drive to like the will to win. Like, it's just they want to do these flashy moves and score these big goals. It's like they just don't have that will to win.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think you can
Yeah.
say that about everyone, but I
No.
think that you can say that about select players. Like, I mean, for example, look at Celebrini. He's
Yeah.
doing unreal. He's also like, there was that clip of him from a few weeks ago mixing it up with Mo Sider. Like, that's a guy who's like balls to the walls, is an unbelievable player, skilled and talented, but also, I mean, a new generation guy that, you know, is going to mix it up as a top talent in the league. That's awesome. So,
Yeah.
anyway.
Even Bedard has been known to get into, well, I guess
This
not
series-
so much
this
in the World
series
Juniors, but
starting.
this year to
This
get into
year,
some
for sure.
scrums and stuff and not take shit from anyone. But like,
Yeah.
what I was gonna say too is like just the undisciplined stuff too with some of these kids. Like, get McKenna with the cross check to the face with like however many minutes to go, and then Misa gets that penalty and stuff too in the last minute there.
I think that
Was
was
it
more of just kind
Rechny?
of a bonehead move, like the
Yeah.
Misa one compared to like undisciplined, and the McKenna one was just like weird. Like, I don't think that he was intentionally doing that. I think like it was just also a brain fart. But both penalties were horrible. But
Yeah, I don't know. Then you go back further to like the Martone butt tap and stuff like that, and it's like, you know, like I'm not sure. Some of it's stupidity, and some of it's just like you know, you can get back at him with like a big hit or something. I'm not sure like you need to be taking these stupid penalties and be petty and whatever. But yeah, I'm not sure where I'm going with that, but just talking about the Stars not being Stars and McKenna not being great. I thought that cross check at the end of the game was really stupid. Like,
Very.
I don't know.
I agree.
Like I said, brain fart moment, but like, I don't know. Anyways, it's just disappointing. What a heartbreaking way to go out too. We tie the game with like 2-3 minutes to go, and then like a minute later, Czechia scores to go up 1. But they
Yeah,
deserved
I was
it.
on the
They
phone with
played way
Avery, and I
harder
was
than
like-
us.
I was on the phone with Avery and I was like, I mean, they took the lead with like a minute or two left last year and then won it. I was like, maybe we can do that same thing. Like, as soon as they scored there, as soon as we tied it up, I was like, maybe we get a quick one here and just do it right back to them, and then they got one. So
3 straight years of the Czechs scoring with less than a
Czechs-
minute and 15 seconds in the game.
checks on us.
Right now they do. Yep.
Oh my God. Shoot, I was going to
Cutscenes.
say something, but I forgot. Okay.
Go from
Well,
one disappointment to the other. Move on to the Jets.
I was going to say we should keep it running with Team Canada and talk about
Yeah.
the
was gonna say, what's-
atrocity of the team.
what's up with the Sorelli jersey in the background, man? What the fuck? Take that shit down, man. Turn that Jets jersey around. Let's see Shifley. Come on, man. I don't want that guy on my team.
That was from a hockey trip a few years ago. It's actually really funny. I was choosing at that point between Point or Sorelli, and literally the reason I got that is because PC really likes Sorelli, so I got that kind of at the time because of him. But now it's kind of biting me in the ass that I have the jersey and he took my guy's spot. I guess
Well,
that's
here,
that.
let's get into that. You know, if we want to, Shifley would have been nice. I didn't think he was going to make the team to begin with, But Sam Bennett not making this hockey team was my biggest grievance. That is fucking insane, in my opinion. With what he did last year, he's won a Conn Smythe, a cup, brings offense, brings physicality. Like,
You hear what
I don't
Paul
know.
Maurice said?
What did he
What,
say?
who?
Paul Maurice came out like right after the Olympic roster was announced, and he's like, yeah, the first 15 games were rough for Sam, but like the last 25 or whatever, the last 30 have been the best hockey he's played in his career. And that's saying something because he just won a Conn Smythe last playoffs.
Yeah.
So,
And he scored a key goal in 4 Nations. And he scored 15 goals in the playoffs.
in the playoffs.
Like, he's a big moment guy. I'll start off with my biggest grievances. And I mean, again, this is a biased take. I think that
Tom
Scheif,
Wilson.
no,
Sure.
I think that Scheif not even being, well, I mean, I guess we don't know for sure yet, but I mean, Scheif technically not being a reserve player is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Like, I'm pretty sure it came out Jarvis is one, Bennett is one, obviously. Those are like the immediates. I think they're going. And then, like, I think Scheif may be like an injury extra, but I think that's crazy. But I know Brakel is very much against me on this, but I've got a point that hopefully he'll understand. And Biz, funny enough, kind of made a point last night, I think it was him, about the way that the IIHF refs hockey games. And my biggest grievance is that I think that bringing Horvat, who's now injured, and we don't know how long for, Wilson's also injured now, but I think he's day to day. But on top of that, bringing Stone, bringing Sorelli, I understand that you want guys for key roles like PK, a guy to muck it up, a guy to win faceoffs. I understand that. And I also understand that we probably have the best top 6 in the world. But I've got an image in my mind of us playing America in the gold medal game, and Tom Wilson is net front and falls into the net, and it costs us a penalty and ultimately the gold medal. And that could be anybody, 100%. But I just think that Tom Wilson going out there and just demolishing people is going to be a penalty. It's going to be...
What do you think the Kachucks are going to do? They're going to do the exact same thing.
Exactly.
They're not going to leave those guys off the roster.
Exactly.
Graham doesn't want Tom Wilson
America,
on Team Canada because he's had a vision.
No,
America and Canada will be refed a lot differently than Canada and Latvia.
But it's still IIHF
Germany
rules.
and USA.
What happens when Cale Makar goes 1-on-5 in the offensive zone and goes backhand bar down, but because Tom Wilson's skate was in the blue paint, it's called off?
There's
and again, I'm using
NHL
him.
referees.
I'm using him as an example,
linesmen.
But it's just, it doesn't make sense why we wouldn't. And I mean, again, points isn't everything, but why would we not take even the 10 most talented players and then bring 2 guys to muck it up and be that guy if you need? And I understand.
Not what we just said is that not just what we said about the World Junior team? Is we brought too many skilled guys and not enough guys that have like that will and want to like get in there, get gritty.
Okay, but that's also a very different topic. He's not even in the league yet, compared to 10 top players in the world that are skilled. An Olympic gold is, in my opinion, far and away clear in terms of an accomplishment compared to a World Junior. And no matter whether you're talented in the NHL, you're going to have a way bigger motor and a way bigger engine than someone in the World Juniors.
I'm not saying that's false, but I'm saying we're just finished the conversation of we didn't bring guys that had the will to win, the grit, the will, like everything. We brought guys that made those flashy plays. Like, are you going to take, we're down a goal to America, gold medal game, 3 minutes left. Are you taking a line of Anthony Cirelli, Nick Suzuki, and Bo Horvat? Or are you putting McDavid, Scheifele, and McKinnon out there?
McDavid, Scheifele, and McKinnon?
Why?
We're down a goal?
No, we're up a goal.
Oh, okay, well, you said down a goal, so that makes, makes it very different.
Like McDavid's one of the best players in the world.
Well, I mean,
But, like,
McDavid
I'd
plays
rather-
in every single facet of the game.
Yeah, because he's not on a team with 14 in the. Yes. But I'm just saying they're not as good as those two-way forwards. Like, all three of those guys are so offensive. Like, Suzuki's one of the best two-way forwards in the league. Bo Horvat is a top two-way forward in the league. Like,
I don't know
I
if
would
I'd agree with
trust those
that.
guys up a goal, 2 minutes left, to go out there and win us a gold medal. Yeah, Scheifele can score. Yeah, Scheifele
While
can
I definitely
make plays.
while I definitely understand that, and this is a perspective thing. I mean, is there not something to be said for putting on pure? I mean, I guess most guys do it anyway, but when you have that top level talent, I really think anybody can play in those situations. But if you're putting out
Yeah,
three
anyone
defensive
can.
forwards in that type of a situation,
They're not defensive forwards.
okay, well, two-way.
They're two-way.
Okay, well, the way you're talking about them is because they play way better defense than McDavid, McKinnon, and Scheif. So that's what I'm going off of. But anyway, is that not you literally just saying, okay, we're sitting back, we're not pushing the pace, we're just going to protect our own zone? Like, that's literally how you get scored on, is when you back off and you just play defense and you play not
They're
to get
still
scored
top.
on.
There's players in the country, and they're still going to be able to push the pace. They're still going to be able to get pucks in deep and forecheck and keep zone possession time.
I understand where you're coming from 100%, but I mean, again, my take on Scheif is because I'm a biased Jets fan and I 100% know that. But I just, like, you can't.
He brings one
can't.
asset to this Olympic team, and it is offense. And we already have the best top 6 in the world.
So what happens if, for whatever reason, David, McKinnon, Celebrini, they all have, I mean, it's a rarity, but what happens if they all are snake bitten? Or they can't score, or they're having an off night? I'm not saying that you need 12.
It's a good thing we got Tom Wilson with 21 goals to pot a couple for us.
Is Nick Suzuki and Bo Horvat that much better at defense than Mark Scheifele?
Yeah. I don't
that
think
much so that
good. They're also versatile because they can play center and wing.
So can Scheif.
Isn't he strictly center?
He can play any position. He plays strictly center, but he was a wing when he came into the league.
I've never liked his defensive game.
Well, you also just hate
Scheifele
every single
Connor.
thing in person with the Jets. So
Scheifele and Connor, I've just always hated their defensive games.
Connor, I'll side on you with that. He is not very good defensively. Scheifele, I think he has gotten a lot better two-way and is a good two-way forward.
I also think Scheif is a dog in the offensive zone. He is impossible to get the puck off of.
The best defense is a good offense. So if he's buzzing around in the O zone, as opposed to, I don't know, boxing out in the defensive end, like, wouldn't you rather be playing in the offensive end? Like, I don't know.
Picture this. We got Gord Miller on the call. From David, cross ice, Mark Scheifele, the golden goal. That is what stories are made of.
Keep your hopes up. Maybe
that's my Stanley Cup. That's my 2026 Stanley Cup.
You're going to have to wait till 2030 for that.
It's not going to happen. One also quarrel that I have, well, not a quarrel, but a surprise, is Kemper making it over Blackwood, or I guess Wedgwood. I also was quite surprised, although I do believe he is, Schaefer not making it. I know that Armstrong had mentioned that, like, his play and just his maturity, like, really brought him into conversations when he wasn't even a thought to start the season, which is very fair. But I know for sure that Uyghur is a reserve, and I think Schaefer might be.
Schaefer is, yeah.
But I'm very surprised that, well,
Chikrin didn't even get contacted.
That was going to be my next point.
Contact.
But, I mean, also, like, and he's been good, but he hasn't been an Olympic-level defenseman. He's having an unbelievable year, but I can see...
Who, Chikrin?
Yeah. I can see
Chikrin was unreal last year, too.
I can see why he... Well, I mean, it's interesting that he wouldn't have even been contacted, personally, I think that. But, I mean, I think that you'd rather have Schaefer over Chikrin. Not only for, again, marketing purposes, next generation, new face, unbelievable player, but I mean, also just kind of the whole aspect that goes with him. First overall pick, basically bringing the Islanders out of the mud. Young
He's
guy that's
young.
scoring 2
Yeah.
goals a game, overtime winner as an 18-year-old defense. Like, that's crazy. So I'm surprised that he didn't crack the roster as the 8th defenseman personally. You guys know where I stand on the Drew Doughty thing, but that's my 2 cents on that.
I thought it would have been cool to bring Schaefer just because that's what Drew Doughty did. A year and a half into his NHL career, he was on that 2010 Olympic team, and he was the 8th defenseman coming in. By the 3rd game, he was in the lineup every game.
I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I think reserves travel to the Olympics. Because, I mean, if, like, what happens if someone has the flu right before the game? They're going to fly them from Germany? Like, you know? I'm pretty sure that they go, that the named reserves go to the Olympics. I think, but I could be wrong.
Hot take, Schaefer still plays for Team Canada. I think Devon Taves is gonna back out.
Yeah.
With his kid.
I mean, it's a possibility.
Yeah. I don't think that's a hot take.
But technically that would make, like, because they bring 8 defensemen plus 2 reserves, correct?
I have no clue about the reserves.
I'm pretty sure. So even if Taves is out, then Doughty or Harley or Theodore, whoever it is, would slot in before Schaefer would, I assume. I don't know what the things are if you're like, oh, optional, we want Schaefer, and even though he's like an injury reserve, and then you could bring him in and sit Doughty, or because he's not technically on the roster. Sure. I don't know how that works, but I'm quite positive.
I would assume, like, if Taves can't come, then I would assume they would just have to, like, name someone to the roster from the reserve. So, like, if say they name Schaefer, then it's just he's in the top 8.
Yeah,
so
I guess
anyone can play out of the top 8.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Sanheim making it was kind of a surprise too. I don't think many people had him on their projected lineups, but I mean, he
fared well in 4 Nations. Like, it wasn't horrible.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's like that big of a surprise that they're just running it back with the 4 Nations crew. I just know, like, a lot of people had him off of their lineup this year, and so I don't know. I guess good for him. Yeah, and then Kemper making it as the 3rd goalie, as Graham just said, is pretty surprising. But yeah, how about Bedard not even apparently getting a sniff on that Olympic roster as well? Like, apparently it had nothing to do with his injury. He just wasn't going to make the team anyways. I think that's also crazy.
I agree.
I mean, I think in that sense, like, it is, I'm sure it's just the same thing as what Cam just said. Like, it's Nick Suzuki or Bo Horvat over him. And so they're probably just taking a better defensive player.
I guess.
Do I hate that? Kind of. Like, I would love it if they would take him for marketing purposes and because of the season he's having and because of what a goal scorer he is. But, like, I don't know. Who would I actually rather have on that team, Nick Suzuki or Connor Bedard? That's tough. I don't know.
I mean, you could take Bedard over Cirelli. You could take him over Stone. You could take him over Tom Wilson. You could take him over any of those guys.
Like, another thing is, like I heard they wanted Kemper instead of Blackwood or Wedgwood, just because, like, he has playoff and cup experience, like big game experience. Like,
he won the World Championships too, I think.
What's that?
I think he won the World Championships as well.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, he has big game experience where Blackwood, like, he wasn't very good on New Jersey. Where did he go after New Jersey? Did he go straight to Colorado? Okay, well, yeah.
Maybe. Did he spend time on the Sharks, or did he go with the Sharks to New Jersey?
Yeah, Sharks to New Jersey to Colorado.
Yeah.
So, like, he's never had these big game moments. And, like, same with Wedgwood. Wedgwood's been a bona fide backup, like, his whole career.
He played in Dallas last year. He did pretty good. I think it was last year in Dallas. He had some pretty.
Yeah, he was in Dallas for a while, like back in Pottinger. But, like, he's been a pretty bona fide backup his whole career, but he's just having an unbelievable year.
Yeah.
So maybe they took a look into that, and then they're like, also, the Avalanche are just a fucking wagon. So
still only 2 regulation losses this year. That is nuts. 40 games.
3.
Who did they lose to the other night in regulation?
I don't know. I just saw their record. today I was looking at the standings, and they have 3
Oh, yeah.
losses
Yeah,
now.
31-3-7. Oh, they lost to the Panthers on yesterday in regulation.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear Billy Guerin's call with Brock Nelson?
No, but that's
naming him
also
naming him to the
crazy,
Olympic
that
roster?
No.
So he called what's his name? Brock Nelson. And I guess he didn't answer the first time and then called him back or whatever. And he's like, "Oh, what are you, too busy to answer my phone calls or something?" He's like, "Yeah, I was pregame meetings, pregame skate." Garen's like, "Aren't you too old to be going for pregame skate or something like that?" And then he's like, "Oh, no, always got to be prepared and all that shit." And then Garen was like, "Oh, yeah, you guys really gave it to us in Minnesota the other day." And he's like, you played well or whatever. And Nelson goes, "Yeah, we really needed that one." And Karen's response was, "Yeah, 2 regulation losses, 40 games in. You really needed that one, hey?" I just thought it was like funny. He's chirping him, but like also naming him to the Olympic roster.
Armstrong did the kind of same thing with Celebrini. Celebrini missed his call because he was like napping or something for pregame. And then Armstrong was like, "Yeah, we were going to name to the roster, but since you didn't answer, we actually went a different direction." And Celebrini thought that he was serious. He just kind of like awkwardly laugh. And then he's like, "No, I'm just kidding." But that was actually pretty good too. But anyway.
I thought Tom Wilson's was the best reaction out of all of them. That actually made me pretty happy to see that. That was pretty cool. He's got his kids right there and stuff. That was pretty cool. But
I can't wait
that
for it to
Celebrini
be,
one was pretty funny.
I can't wait for it to be February 26th. Tom Wilson has a 15-point Olympic run, and I'm like just staying his praise.
I told you the other day, Graham, he's winning MVP. MVP of the Olympics.
That would be something.
That would be so funny. Yeah, obviously on the other side of it here, Adam Fox did not make the USA team. Kudos to you, Graham. You did kind of more or less call that. I don't know if you said he wouldn't be on the team, but you were kind of talking shit about him, and then ended up not being on the team. Seth Jones comes in.
He's
Let's
now
see.
week
I think
to week
Keller's a new Seth Jones is.
Yeah, with an undisclosed injury, saying they're hoping he's ready for the Olympics.
He left the Winter Classic.
No. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jones out couple weeks for Panthers, it says.
Who do you think he would who would sub in for Seth Jones? Would it be Fox?
Has to be Fox, yeah.
Luke Hughes.
Luke Hughes is getting booed out of fucking.
Let's just get him all on the team, man.
Luke Hughes is getting booed out of fucking Jersey. He scored on his own net the other night.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, Jersey's in shambles right now.
Jones appeared to be struck near the left collarbone by a shot from Alex Lafreniere.
Ouch.
Deflected off the stick of Panthers defenseman Nico Mikolaev.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I think did Clayton Keller not make it last year?
Correct.
No.
He did
Keller.
not.
That's crazy.
Keller, Thompson, and Jones are the 3 new ones.
And
I thought there was more.
3 new ones. How about them taking Vincent Trocheck again? That's wild to me. I don't know.
Over Jason Robertson? Over Cole Caulfield?
Wasn't there some quote that came out that they needed like older locker room guys or something like that, and so that's why they took a guy like Trocheck over Jason Robertson?
That's insane to me.
What do you need locker room guys for the Olympics? What? Take the best possible players again. What do you doesn't make much sense. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think of the Olympic roster? Do you like it? Or
I
it's
think
basically
that
the same.
Yeah, I think they left a lot of big names off. But again, same thing that, Breaka Lake's the reason they brought those guys for Canada. Billy G is doing the same thing for the US, and I guess we'll see whether or not it works for them and us, both teams. But yeah, I think leaving Caulfield off, I think leaving Robertson off, I think not giving Wayne Hudson a crack is kind of crazy. There's one other big name guy in there that I'm forgetting that's high up there, and I mean both points and like just name value, but yeah, kind of crazy. I can't remember who it was.
Gensel?
No, Gensel's on there.
Oh, Gensel's on there. Yeah. I could guess all day. Yeah, I mean, good. I'm happy Tage Thompson made it. That's good to see. Because, yeah, he was one of the biggest snubs last year, so.
You really gotta stop typing, Graham.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Mash your fucking keyboard.
Looking at Finland's roster here, no Barkov, obviously. That sucks. Sweden looks pretty darn good, actually, with the Leo Carlson back on the team.
Oh,
Like, they have
DeBrincat.
a pretty good. Oh yeah, DeBrincat. Yeah,
That's what I was thinking of. Sorry, keep going.
let's see. Hold on. Let's look at the team that's gonna kick us out. Oh wait, there's only 6 players right now.
Oh, they haven't fully released it?
No, I guess not. These are just the first 6 players.
Go to
for all these
Germany. Go to
teams.
Germany. Oh yeah, they got Nico Sturm, Lucas Reichel.
Reichel. Okay. Well, anyways, yeah, I'm super excited for that. I don't know. Think we'll beat Team USA?
I hope so.
Yeah.
We better.
I think we got the best Canada team in our lifetime.
What's that? What do you say?
I think we have the best Canada team in our lifetime this year.
Really?
How do I can I get closer to this?
I don't know. Maybe it's just nostalgia. That 2016 team was pretty darn good. Was it 2016?
2010 or 2014?
2010? Like
That was
Crosby,
Vancouver.
Bergeron, Taves, Getzlaf, Perry. That team was pretty darn stacked.
Then Morrow.
Oh my God, Czech almost just came back from 3-0. Sweden just got an empty netter with 8 seconds.
Damn.
To put it away. That's crazy. Sorry. Anyways.
Like, I don't know. Just like names that like, of course they had the like Taves, Thornton, Perry, Bergeron, Nash, Crosby. But like they had like Dan
Marleau.
Boyle, Brendan Morrow. Like,
I mean, those guys were scoring at like a 30-goal pace, though, then. Like, that's a while ago. Taves, Thornton, Stahl, Perry, Mike Richards, who was nasty, Rick Nash, Brennan Morrow, Patrick Marleau, Iginla, Heatley, Getzlaf, Crosby, Bergeron, Weber, Seabrook, Pronger, Niedermeyer, Keith, Doughty, Dan Boyle, so he's the extra, and then Bobby Lou, Marc-Andre Fleury, Martin Brodeur.
Like, we definitely have the best forwards like Canada's ever put together
This year?
Like,
yeah.
This year. But like their D were pretty nasty.
I feel like that might be
Weber, Seabrook.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some dogs on that team. Like, think about, again, this is prime. Crosby prime, Getzlaf prime, Perry prime, all those guys. Yeah. Perry's 100-point scorer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super deep up the middle, but then again, so is the team this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think defensively and goaltending, we were better. I don't know. Definitely the most, like, that's a long time ago. So definitely the most skilled team. Like, you know, they didn't have McDavid or McKinnon back then, who are 2 of the best players we've ever seen.
Well, we've got that team. That team had 3, I would say, arguably top 10 goalies of all time on it.
Yeah.
Brodeur, Bobby Lou, Marc-Andre Fleury, I'd say. Crazy.
Who's Bobby Lou? Never
heard of
Roberto
Luongo.
He doesn't sound Canadian. Yeah. But yeah, 3 Hall of Fame goaltenders. Is Marc-Andre Fleury gonna get in the Hall of Fame?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas, like, does Binnington get in the Hall of Fame? Maybe.
Probably not.
No.
Okay, well.
Does have a cup and a gold medal. But anyways, should we move on?
Yes. Do you want to start Oilers or Jets? Breaks, let's start Oilers. Tell us about your week. Was it the best week you've ever had?
No.
What? You're lying to me. Really?
Shit.
Oh, come on. You're lying. You didn't lose 6-2 to the Bruins and 5-2 to the Flyers and 3-2 to Calgary, right?
3-2 to Calgary. That was like weeks ago.
No, that was on the 27th, but whatever.
We've definitely done a pod since then.
I know. I'm just trying to make myself feel better.
Yeah, we had a bad week.
Who was in net for the Bruins and Flyers games? Was it Picker?
Ingram played against the Bruins. Pickard played against the Flyers.
Oh.
Not a good time in Oilerland this week, but at least we're not last in the league. We're still
And-
second in the Pacific.
At least McDavid's on a 15-game point streak still, so that's something.
And then now we're going to absolutely roll the Jets on Thursday, boots on the ground. Graham's going
Yeah.
to drive me there.
That's going to be a huge boots on the ground game.
And yeah, Graham's going to hear it the whole way home.
We need to win that game so bad. Like, so bad, or I'm leaving chasing freaking breaks at the door. I'm not letting them get in if they win.
If we could lose every other game this year but win that one, I would take that
take
bet.
it 100%. 100%. I would make that deal.
See, but like,
deal.
if the Oilers somehow lose that game, you guys still have nothing on us because we have the season series.
That's fine. But I'm boots on the ground for that game, as are you, and that is my bragging points for the rest of the year.
But we've been to one game together, and it was Oilers Jets. That's when we won, like, I think it was like 6-2 or 6-3. It was last year. That was awesome because I gave it to you the whole way home.
Yeah, that was brutal.
So yeah, it'll be a fun Thursday night.
That would just be a really nice one to end our what would be 10-game losing streak on. I just want to win one game here to keep me coming in front of this computer to do my reactions for the Jets. It's been really, really hard. Like,
okay, how about you beat Vegas, you lose to us, and then you beat the Kings?
No.
Well,
because that helps the Oilers up.
Might be boots on the ground for Vegas and the Kings. So
really,
I might be boots on the ground for both those games. We'll see. Probably not Friday, but I'm definitely going to the game tomorrow. So
hell yeah.
I still would rather us beat Edmonton.
I agree.
Are we gonna get live reactions or what?
No. I'm gonna take a game off. I'm gonna take a little vacation.
No, honestly, you should bring like a selfie stick or something, and then just get you and everyone in the section around you.
Man, they don't let you bring cameras in there. I tried to bring my camera in there one game to like record like Taves' return, and they don't let you do that, which is so weird because you can bring your phone in. But anyways, was that it for Brakel on the Oilers? Or I mean, kind of like pretty big losses too, hey? Like 6-2 and then 5-2
we got
to
crushed.
Boston and Philly. What?
We got crushed on New Year's Eve by Boston. Ingram did not have a great game. Definitely a few of them he wanted back. And then Philly, I don't know what to say about the Philly game.
Philly might be a wagon.
Yeah, like Philly's not horrible. Like,
yeah, they're 4th, 5th in the Metro.
Their first wild card. Yeah.
They're 3rd in the Metro.
Yeah.
21-12-7.
They're 4th.
Yeah, they're 4th.
They're 4th in the Metro.
My ups tell me they're 3rd.
Washington's 3rd. But yeah, I don't know. Like Philly kind of just dominated us. That was the game we tried out our Quinn Hudson, Ike Howard, and Matt Savoy line. So
how did they do?
I don't like they didn't score, but like I know Draisaitl's line was like -2 or -3. So
hey, some guys just don't have the drive. Some guys just don't have the motor, man. That's all good.
I mean, Draisaitl's had a few games off now, so he is primed for a check against the Jets. I might bet it. I won $600 last night on the NFL, so I think 100 might go on Draisaitl. I think 100 might go on Draisaitl hat trick, and the other 500 might go on the Oilers money line.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Yeah, Draisaitl.
I was gonna save this till the
one shot on net.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna save this till the end of the pod, but you just must have been the happiest camper last night with the Steelers pulling that one out. That was fucking wild.
That was
we tuned into the last 2 minutes. But yeah, it looked like a crazy, crazy game.
Yeah, I was on the phone again with Avery during that, and he was a little bit ahead of me. And he was watching the end of the World Junior game. I had 2 TVs going, so I was watching both. Nice. But I was like, oh yeah, they just scored with 55 seconds left. Should be a 3-point game, and then missed the kick. I'm like, I totally just jinxed that. They totally just jinxed that. And then he flipped it to the Steelers game, and then they get that big return, and then that pass to Likely, and I had like a plastic like water bottle, and I just started screaming fuck at the top of my lungs and just smashing this bottle on my table. And like, luckily I was home alone, or else someone thought I would have been like fucking dying. Like, and then all of a sudden they go down, they kneel, and I can hear Avery like kind of like chuckle, like give it like a kind of like a one of those. And then all of a sudden I see it missed. I just jumped up, started screaming, running around my house. I was like, holy fuck. I was so happy.
Oh, yeah.
Mostly
that's
because
awesome.
the Steelers made the playoffs, but I also put $200 on them to win the division, and it was $430 payout. So I was more excited for the money than the Steelers in the playoffs, but obviously for both.
Not a true fan.
Oh, that's awesome. So you kind of had the opposite of all of our reaction to the World Juniors game yesterday. The kind of super mad 1 second and then jumping up and down the next. Good for you. Well, happy for you, man. Should we talk Jets?
Quick little stat, actually. The Steelers made the playoffs, got put on Monday night. They haven't lost a Monday night at home in like 60 years, I think. Like, it's something fucking crazy.
I don't think it's that long. I think it's like 20 or 25.
Let me check.
That'd be wild. 60
Who
years
is it?
would be
They
crazy.
play the Texans.
The Texans, right? Yeah, Texans. That would be freaking wow. The Texans are Big Cat's pinky team.
Yeah.
Also, was there just like the craziest wind in that stadium last night? Because I saw the kick before that. Someone made
Since
a kick or missed a kick
1992.
before that too.
Yeah, so 34 years.
34 years, yes.
Yeah.
Because they both shanked it completely right. It just went up in the air and then just went straight right after that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's weird like physics, like with the ball, the way it comes off your foot and things like that when it comes to kicking. But I don't know. Anyway,
okay,
we should transition as we
just
are a Jets podcast and we're an hour in without talking about them. So. I've got a couple key points that I'd like to start off with. One being, I mean, not that it's an excuse at all, but like this first half schedule because of the Olympics is crazy. And I don't know if you realize, Bendares, but we had 3 games in 4 days this week, which is nuts. I mean, travel wasn't crazy, but they were all away games. It was at Detroit, at Toronto, at Ottawa. So again, travel isn't crazy, but until 3 games in 4 days, the NHL is nuts.
Yeah. Well, and then not to mention that like that Detroit one, we got off, something was wrong with the plane or something like that, so we left super late and stuff, and it was like back-to-back games. So they were sort of saying that the boys might be a little tired right now. But anyways,
but. I mean, that Detroit game was, I mean, just kind of an archetype for the entire season. I mean, all of our games dating back to, oh my God, the last time that we scored more than 3 goals before, oh my God, this is terrible. The last time we scored more than 3 goals in a game up until that Maple Leafs game was October 9th. Yes.
Repeat that?
Just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding.
Well, what?
Totally kidding. My bad. I was reading the wrong stat. But anyway, archetype for the season. Jets can't find scoring. And I mean, we'll beat the drum until it's dead. I mean, we've got no secondary help. Still continues in that trend. And I mean, against John Gibson, who is 13-9-1, and he's rocking an .895 save percentage for the year. We can't get more than 1 by him. Harbuck plays well, only lets in 2, but just a very, fruiting game offensively for sure.
Guess who got that one though? Logan Stanley.
Yeah. That was the bullet 5-hole. Rock star.
I literally just turned it off like seconds before that to watch the Canada-Finland game, which I'm glad I did because the start to that Canada-Finland game was absurd. There's like 4 goals in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I was going over to Drake's for the New Year's Eve party, and I was watching the Jets game, and I saw that Logan Stanley goal, and I'm like, okay, I'll go to Drake's now. I'll catch the start of the World Junior game. I get there, it's 2-2. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I was like,
crazy.
Shots are 2-2, games 2-2. I was like, both goalies haven't made a save yet.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, anyways, I remember, I was watching that Detroit game and just feeling like nothing, just blah. I think that's just how it's gonna be throughout the rest of the year. Is I just don't really care anymore if we win or lose games. Like, I just don't I don't really care. But yeah, and then I got some text rolling in, Stanley scored, and that was great to see.
That's disgusting. Take that
Which one looks the best?
Take that off.
I don't want any of them.
So after that game, we follow it up with arguably the funniest loss of the entire season and borderline just inventing new ways to lose. I think I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we blew a 1-0, 2-0, 3-1, 4-1 lead.
Yeah.
And then lost the game 6-5. Fuse's 14th career hat trick. He plays the puck literally as perfect as one could be to him in front of the net. All these scores chiefly add to Mellow Pops one. We finally get scoring, and unfortunately a very, in my opinion, poor game from Comrie. Did make some stops as well, but like that describes the entire season. Blowing a 4-1 lead.
Oh yeah.
Matthews rejuvenating his season. Like, that's just the most Jet loss of the season, man.
No, that was something. That was something to watch. Again, watching that.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, when was the last time that a team has chased a goalie in the first period and lost the game? Can you remember that? When was the last time that anything like that's happened? That's insane. Wall started that game, let in 4 on 18, and then Hildeby came in and stopped 23 of 25, I think. Or 24 of 25 or something. Yeah, it was crazy.
Something around there.
I was making dinner just before that game, and then I watched the first bit of it. I was like, oh, the Jets are up 4-1. They should win this game. Went and took a nap. Woke up and it was fucking like 4-4. I was like, what the fuck happened?
Yep.
That's how fast it happens with this team.
Yeah.
It's a blink of an eye, you take a nap, and suddenly we're last in the league.
Now, in all jokes, that was a really fun game. Like, it sucks that we blew the lead, but I mean, high-scoring games are always fun, but like, Scheif had an unbelievable game. That Velarde goal, the passing play from him and Scheif was beautiful. Like, there was
Scheif was unreal.
There was a lot of good things from the top guys, which there has been the entire season in that game, but it's like, that was a really fun game to watch. It just sucks and is the most Jets thing ever that we lost.
Yeah, sucks that we couldn't get it done for at least Scheif, because I know we all love winning against Toronto, and he always comes to play against Toronto, and he played really, really well, and we still couldn't get it done. Yeah. I thought in that first period, to be honest, we were going to get smoked, and then we somehow made it out of that first period with a 2-0 lead. Like, we just looked really slow, and we looked like we got off a plane at like 2 a.m. to come to Toronto in a back-to-back, but also Toronto also played a back-to-back, so you can take that for what you will. But yeah, I was sort of just thinking throughout the game that, this is what it's like to play with the lead. This is nice. This is comfortable. We were up for a while, like 4-1, and then slowly but surely, whatever, no big deal. And then who was it? I forget. Someone shot it in to make it 4-3, and then Matthews scores off a Hellebuck-like play, not being able to play the puck. I'm like, yeah, that's about right. And then, we end up losing that game. To Breaks' point, love that we rejuvenated Matthews' play just in time for the Olympics. That's great. If US ends up winning it off of Matthews' great play, we might be the problem. So this season just keeps getting worse for us. We cannot catch a fucking break to save our lives. Like, I just want to win one. Just one game. Again, I'm repeating myself just to keep me coming back here. I just want one. I just want the pain to end.
9 straight.
And then we go to Ottawa. And then we go to Ottawa, which I think I hardly even remember that game. I'm pretty tuned out of it now when I'm watching these games. I'm just sitting there like trying not to fall asleep at this point, but we didn't really stand a chance that game. I'll start it off with this because this was the big storyline. What's that?
Death, taxes, and Thomas Chabot.
Yeah. Who scored off a broken stick in that game, which was kind of crazy.
He had 2, didn't he? He had the first 2, didn't he?
Probably.
Pretty sure the first 2.
I don't know. Again, I don't even really watch with intent anymore. The biggest storyline coming out of that game, though, was Stanley sucker punches Tkachuk. Stanley ends up getting a game for that. Whoever wants to answer this. Breaks, I'll ask you. Since you saw it, what Graham's gone? I was wondering why he was just sitting there like this. I thought he was like...
Yeah, it said reconnecting.
Okay.
So obviously he is.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll ask you. Do you think Stanley should have got a game for that? Do you think he should have gotten more? Do you think it should have been... Do you think the penalties called were correct?
I don't think more. I think the penalties were correct. There was someone else in the league, a guy on Calgary. What's his name? Beecher? John Beecher.
Okay.
He did literally the exact same thing that night. And so they both had hearings the next day. It was just both got a game. It was unnecessary.
Interesting.
It was unnecessary. And whatever, he gets a game. Like it's not like Shifley's getting a game. It's not like your top players getting a game. It's the depth defenseman. Like I don't think it's that big of a deal, but like 4-minute penalty for sure. If they would have called a 5, I would have said way too much. But like a 4 is realistic, and a game doesn't really do much. So I think it was fine. Yeah, I didn't have much to say about that. I mean, I kind of hate the Tkachuks, so I kind of liked it.
Yeah. That was sort of my first thought was at least in my reaction clips was like, oh, I don't even care. Like, good for Stanley hitting Tkachuk and whatever. But then I actually saw it and I was like, okay, like Stanley should definitely get a couple at least for that. But also, a lot of people in our comments and stuff were saying, what does Tkachuk sort of expect? He comes and, squares... I don't know if he's squared up exactly with Stanley, but he's, roughing it up with him and, cross-checking him and stuff, too. And so, a bit of it, maybe, is to blame on Tkachuk, too. But then,
a bit.
He reveals that,
also, you drop your gloves and you, you don't just...
Yeah.
You don't drop your gloves, behind your back and then just boom, sucker punch someone. That's just a cheap shot. But Tkachuk did it's not like he was just skating by and he sucker punched him. That would have been 3 games. But yeah, he kind of is to blame a bit. But
yeah, I also see Stanley's point of view in that who's to say Tkachuk doesn't take his gloves off immediately and starts throwing and stuff too and act he thought they were going right away and then Stanley's doesn't want to be the one to take that punch in the face and stuff too. It can happen just as fast the other way around too. So
for sure.
I don't know. I think it all ended up being good. I wonder what Tkachuk said to have gotten a 10-minute misconduct.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was just he wasn't stopping talking and so the ref just gave him time to
didn't he go over to the bench? He went over to the Jets bench and everything, mouthing off to them, sent him to the room.
Yeah.
There's I think 7 minutes left in the second, so he went to the room for the last bit of the second and came out and sat in the box for 3 minutes.
Yeah. And they showed Taves was, of course, barking back at him. And then Lowry was kind of just rolling his eyes and whatever. But he was going at the bench for a bit. And then he was trying to show them his hand too. Because I guess his hand, he had a cast on. or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that
Or,
was
like,
what he
tense
was trying to
advantage.
say was like, yeah, he was like, I wasn't going to be fighting with this and stuff. And like, I don't know. I guess my question for you is like, do you think that like Winnipeg or yeah, I get Winnipeg is like partly responsible for like not knowing that like he had a cast, like, of course we knew he wasn't going to be fighting tonight because he was like already injured. Or I guess like not Winnipeg, but Stanley should have known that and like knew
No,
that he wasn't going
because
to be fighting that night.
injury reports in the NHL are so dumb.
Yeah.
Like, in the NFL, they'll tell you what the injury is. Like, this guy's out with a broken arm, or this guy's out with a broken hand. Like, the NHL, it's like the guy has a headache, and it's like, oh, yeah, he's day to day with an upper body injury. It's like,
Yeah.
that can mean anything. Like, that could
It's
mean, like,
impossible to know.
yeah. So, like the Jets probably saw the injury report, and it was like, whatever, day to day with a upper body injury, and then playing in the game. So it's just like, that could be anything. Like, that could be a shoulder soreness or a back tightness. Like, who knows? So I don't put any blame on them not knowing.
Yeah.
I put blame on the NHL not being consistent with their injury reports.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Interesting. Okay.
But then also that does like let's say Connor McDavid is on the injury report with like a knee soreness or something like that, and then someone's going after his knee. Like, you can't. It's
Yeah.
kind of hard to be doing that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe get Graham's point on that.
We were just talking about the Stanley sucker punch to Brady Tkachuk and sort of like Cam's thoughts on that. And you're smiling. I'm sure you loved it. Hey.
Well, I mean, while we were both watching, I thought that I thought they both shed, and then Stanley knocked him out. But I think from what the broadcaster had said is, like, Tkachuk smartly realized that there was a scoring chance, which is why he didn't shed them. But, I mean, I think in any other circumstance he would have. So, I mean, was Stanley a little bit out of line suckering him? Yes. But I think, like, in most cases, Tkachuk probably sheds him. So, like, I'm sure Stanley's mindset is like, okay, we're going, so I'll throw the first punch. But I do think that it, like, I mean, it looks really bad, and I do think that it was like in that perspective, like, it was bad. But I think if like Ottawa didn't have a scoring chance and Tkachuk didn't realize that, like, he would have shed him out 100%. So
Yeah. I mean, to sort of pick up where we left off here, like, what I sort of just asked Cam was like, I think a big reason also why Tkachuk didn't go was because like, I think what he was telling the Winnipeg bench and like the refs and why he was so irate was because he's like pointing at his hand, showing like a cast and that he was injured and stuff. And so my question for Cam was like, is that sort of on Stanley or Winnipeg for like not knowing that like Tkachuk's not gonna go this game because he's got this injury? Or do you think otherwise? Like,
I
no.
think if you're
I just
playing,
said
if you're playing in a game, if you're too injured to
You're
not
good.
play, you don't
Yeah.
play. If you're playing in a game, you're good enough to play. Now, I mean, yeah, punching people with whatever injury he has in the wrist, is that a smart thing? Absolutely not. I mean, if you're playing in that game, you're good enough, and you've got to play. I mean, it's the NHL. You got to be at your best every single game. So if you're in that
Yeah.
game, then you should be able to do 100% of the things.
I just
That's
said
my
like the
perspective.
NHL's injury report's so dumb with like they won't disclose what
agree.
anything is. Like
I agree.
his injury report was probably day to day with a upper body injury. So like, what is that? Shoulder soreness, back tightness? Like, it can
Yeah.
mean anything. Like,
Yeah,
they
whole
should like
but
Winnipeg shouldn't be on the hook to like know
I
that.
agree. But also, like, kind of a side note, I think it's absolutely hilarious because of how like tight knit the injury reports are. It's like every year once the playoffs are done, it's like, oh, I can't wait for all the injury reports to come out. It's like, oh, that guy was playing with a separated shoulder and a broken fibula. Just tell us that. Like, what is it? You know, what are you gaining by hiding that? I guess
Well,
it's
that's
like a
what I was
competitive
saying, like-
advantage to the other team in the playoffs.
I
Like,
was-
they'll go
that's what I
after
was
that
saying, like-
guy.
Like, yeah, like just like targeting it. Like, I don't know.
But I mean,
That's
I
weird.
think like kind of to my same point too, like if you're playing in the NHL, every single game you've got to be at 100%. You've got to be going 100%. You got to be ready to take and inflict 100% of the, you know, the battle that comes with that. So, I mean, like, sure, if you're going to target a guy in the playoffs, if you know he's got like a separated shoulder or something, I mean, like, I'm sure guys are going to hit him, but I don't think that anybody is going to go out of their way to like cross-check the guy in his shoulder on purpose to injure him more. But maybe teams would. I don't know. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know how much you guys ended up breaking down that game, like about goal-wise and stuff, but I guess an interesting thing for you, which maybe you noticed, maybe you didn't, but my guy DeMello, obviously having a tough season. I think he was back with Morrissey for that game, but the Toronto game and I think Detroit, they had split up Morrissey and DeMello and were Morrissey Pionk for at least a couple of games, which I don't know if that was like as much of a demotion for DeMello as much as it was maybe a Kickstarter for Pionk because his point production's been super low. So I don't know if you noticed that or if you had any thoughts on that, or I know that you're not.
I think it's just they're on a
Shaking it up.
10-game skid, and you just gotta shake something up. Like they tried it with the forwards and it didn't work. Try it with the D. So I don't think it's much of a demotion or promotion to anyone. I think it's just a shake up and let's try and get something going here.
I guess so. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, like I break it down every time. We've now lost 9 in a row. I think it's either 22 of our 9. The Ottawa game was our 9th.
Ottawa, Toronto, Detroit, Edmonton, Minnesota, Utah, Colorado, St. Louis, Ottawa. Oh yeah, that's 9.
Yeah. Which is also, like I mentioned, either it's 22 of 28 or 23 of our last 29, which is not ideal. But I mentioned it briefly before we popped on here, and maybe I'll wait till Antonio
Since
comes
December
back.
1st, you guys have won 2 games.
Don't say that. Okay, just don't say that. Maybe I'll wait till Antonio comes back, but
here's a question for you. When do you get your next win?
Hopefully the Oilers. I mean, we've got a 5-game homestand now, so hopefully that'll, if we go 0-5 on the homestand.
With 4 good teams coming to town.
I know, but if we go
Vegas,
0-5
Edmonton,
on
Kings,
this stand.
Jersey. I could see you guys beating I could see you guys beating the Islanders on the 13th.
I'm going to that game too, actually. So that would be nice.
Is that it? That's in your pack?
Yeah.
What other games
I mean, I'm
are
gonna watch Schaefer, which would be cool. I've got Oilers on the 8th, Islanders the 13th, and then the 20th. Which is the Blues. And then I've got 2 games in March, which is the Rangers and Bolts or Rangers and Lightning, and then I've got the Sharks in April. So I'll get to see all like fun teams, which will be good.
Except the Rangers.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I guess Panarin, Lafreniere. But anyway, I was kind of waiting so you were getting back Banderas. I don't know if you saw today.
So bad.
That's okay. I don't know if you saw, watched, or heard, or looked at anything on Twitter today about the Chevy mid-season media availability. Consensus is that it's basically a whole lot of nothing. Not much accountability, not many straightforward answers, which again is expected in the NHL, especially with how tight-knit True North is and the loyalty around there. But there were some good questions asked, some pretty pinpointed hard questions, which Chevy dodged quite well. A lot of them tailored to, like we've mentioned on the podcast, about his thoughts on bringing up young talent, how long they're going to ride out these older guys, and if they'd be willing to waive them. There wasn't, at least from what I heard, any like really tough questions like about job security for him. There was a question about Arneal, not really as much of like, is he going to get fired, but just like, what do you think about his performance? So on and so forth. But not exactly a lot of what I think people were hoping to hear. I think they're obviously hoping to hear very more clear-cut answers as to what the next little bit's going to be. But a couple of interesting answers from what he had mentioned, Cole's notes, but his response to bringing up young guns was more like he'll bring them up when they're injuries, not as much as like a performance bonus for how they're doing in the AHL, which I thought was very weird. And then also didn't exactly really like say it, but instead of like providing options on how, this team's going to get out of this funk and, build towards another cup contending team in the future, he basically said, being a fan of a team means that you've got to, eat shit sometimes when the team sucks, or, it's good when they're good. But he basically was like, yeah, if you're a fan, like, you've got to expect highs and lows, which is kind of a crazy thing to say. But yeah, I think there's a lot of interest in talk about it because, again, like, I don't know if there's been a team in NHL history to go first to worst in back-to-back seasons, but amidst all this, it's just very interesting. He's not giving clear-cut answers on what the next steps look like for the team.
What do you mean we should expect highs? We won the President's Trophy last year and we're last in the league, and we're supposed to expect that from this team?
Fuck
no.
I could
joke.
I could find the clip. Like, it wasn't exactly worded like that, but basically he's like, being a fan of a team means that, like, you're there for the highs and the lows of the organization. So, like, you've got to, that's what being a fan is, like something along the lines of that, which I thought was kind of crazy.
And I get that. And I'll show up day in and day out like I am right now, but I'll show up for the lows when we should be shit in 5 years' time and when this little window is past, but we're in win now mode, so we shouldn't be expecting to suck right now. We should be expecting to win, and instead we're dead last in the NHL.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Highs and lows. Yeah. We'll stick with our team when we should be lowest of the low, but we should be winning games right now. Like, well, we shouldn't, but we should with Scheifele, Connor, Velarde, Hellebuck, Morrissey.
It was just, it was a very typical press conference, but I think because of just the sheer difference and volatility from last year to this year, it's like, man, the team, the media, the fans, everyone that covers the team and loves the team, like, they want answers. And there was really no direction, nothing given, like, in the availability. He's like, you know what, like, we've, like, this team can figure it out. And, the whole kind of message of, like, if we keep working and implement the proper stuff, that we can turn it around. But, when all the questions were asked about bringing up young guys or what the next little bit holds, or are we going to make moves to sell it, like, there was just really no clear-cut answers from him. So it was just a very interesting press conference to hold and not really give much of anything. So
yeah, I guess what do you expect him to say too? Like, I don't know. Did anybody ask him about the moves that he's made this year and bringing in like Pearson and Nyquist and some of these guys? Or probably
yes, to a certain extent. Like, he touched on Taves again, took the very corporate and safe route, saying, we were expecting, Taves obviously not to bring his best stuff at the start of the year, but, he's been great in the face-off zone, and, he's obviously building towards, the end of the season. And it's like, sure, that's great and all, but if we're not even in the playoffs, like, what is he building towards? He's building towards playing good in games 70 to 82 when we're already out of contention. So, again, just kind of weird answers. But, again, that's kind of what you would expect.
I saw someone ask about goaltending, and they're like, why didn't you go get a veteran backup at the beginning of the year? And he said something about, like, we were going to, but then we thought we'd ride with Comrie, and we believed in him and stuff like that. He kind of, like, threw Comrie under the bus, and he was shit. And then he's like, but I don't really take care of that goalie stuff. I don't know goalies. It's such a hard position to look after. I get all my information from the 2 goaltending coaches and all that stuff. So it was kind of like, he's like, thought Comrie would be better than he is. And then he's just like, yeah, it's not my job. It's like, you're a GM. You got to take after every position.
Yeah.
Well, I can transition that into a very, very, very interesting stat that one of the Winnipeg Sports Talk hosts, Houde, I believe is her last name. Awesome content on Twitter. She had posted an insane graphic, insane graphic about the Jets drafting and development since 2017, which your boy co-host had asked a very similar question on CJOB. So I'm going to give myself credit for that. Thank you. Thank you. Now if I can pull up the freaking Twitter here, screenshotted a photo of it, but come on. How
I
is
would
it
like to
spelled?
also apologize for not watching that media availability as a Jets Nation host. That's my bad. Should probably have prepared for the pod tonight better than that, but
Okay, so here's
bad.
her graphic. Since 2017, I'll go by years, we had 8 draft picks in 2017. 2 are active NHLers. 6 in 2018, 1 active. 2019, 5 drafted, 0 active. 2024 drafted, 1 active. 21, 4 and 0. 22, 7 and 1. And 2023, 5 and 0. So out of the last, I guess, that 6-year span, we have 4 active NHLers that we drafted. 2 of them are Declan Chisholm and Jonathan Kovacevic, who we both waived. The other 2 are Samberg and Perfetti. Now, the exception to the rule, if you want to call it, is Rutger McGroarty, although he's not a full NHLer. But isn't
we got
that
return
crazy?
for him.
So in 2017 to 2023, we had 8, 14, 19, 27, 34, 39 picks and 4 active NHLers.
That's crazy.
Keep in mind, this is the team that drafted pretty much back to back to back to back to back. Scheif, Morrissey, Trouba, Connor, Hellebuck was in there, obviously a late rounder. But like, dude, we hit on a lot of picks in the early days, which is, of course, kind of why I asked that question is like, what's changed over these last
What was the
7 years?
timeline, Graham, on that? You have
20
4 NHLers in 2017.
2023.
Well, I mean, what's changed is we're not giving those guys shots. I'd love to know what the stat is. Like, when did Kyle Connor become
A
a
full-timer?
Winnipeg Jet full-time? Year 2? 3?
Well, I mean,
Year
keep in
3?
mind, he scored basically 30 goals in his rookie season and then got sent to the Moose. So there was that. But he was pretty much
Is
a
that
full-time.
true?
Yeah. He should have been he literally should have won the what's it called? The Rookie of the Year? The Calder?
Yeah.
Calder?
Yeah.
Calder finalist?
Yeah.
Yeah, he basically scored 30 goals his rookie year, and then at the end of the season, I think he was like sent back to the Moose or something like that.
So from 2017 to now, the Oilers have 7 current NHLers.
And the
So
Oilers
three
draft
more.
horrible. So, I mean, that's something to be
We
said.
didn't have a lot of first-round picks. Like, we didn't have a first-round
Yeah.
pick last year. We didn't have a first-round pick in 23.
Well, here,
I guess
and-
our
and it-
first-round
it-
pick in 24 was Sam O'Reilly. We traded him for Mike Howard, who could be considered an NHLer right now.
Yeah, and it also
okay,
says our
just looking
first
at
rounders
this.
too.
Just looking at this, do you know who was drafted by the Oilers in 2018? 6th round.
No.
He was just part of a massive trade in the offseason.
Are you going to give me the name? Or sorry, are you going to give me the trade?
JJ Peterka trade.
Oh, Josh Doan?
Michael Kessler, right?
He was drafted by the Oilers?
Played 2 years or 3 years in Bakersfield. And then we
Huh.
either traded him or he signed with Arizona. I did not even know that we drafted him. Now he's like a
Interesting.
good NHL defenseman.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Interesting.
Yeah. But anyway, I thought that was unbelievable because in 7 years, there's 4 active NHLers from that draft, and 2 of them we've waived.
And we have to accept the highs and lows of the NHL.
Crazy, man.
That's bullshit.
It's
That's
just
bullshit.
It's crazy just how much, like, I mean, I guess that's professional sports, but it's unbelievable how much the switch is flipped from last year to this year. And I mean, of course, in a year like this, it's hard not to be, negative and
Excuse me.
upset, but it's just like literally, how does a team go from the best regular season team in the league to the worst
Yeah.
in
Well,
one
and when your
year?
whole bread and butter has to be drafting and developing because our big thing is not being able to get guys here, and we've gone 4 for 39, I believe you said, in the past
7 years, or
7
yeah,
years,
from
8
17
years.
to 23. So 7 years.
That just can't happen.
Yeah.
And we still refuse to put in our young guys into the lineup. I mean, to go back to, I was listening to you guys. I still have my headphones on. You were talking about like DeMello going to the third line and then someone coming up to the first line. Was it Pionk?
It was for a couple of
you
games.
said?
Yeah, Pionk played with Morrissey and they moved DeMello with Sandberg.
If we're hitting fuck it on mushing up the lines and whatever, like what? I don't get it. I don't understand why we can't put in our young guys and mix it up in that way when we're mixing it up already.
Well, one thing... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say splitting up, debatably one of the best D pairings over the past 2-3 years.
Yeah, I mean,
DeMello
has had a very rough year. Like, I was mentioning Brakel. I don't know if that was as much of a demotion as it was just trying maybe to spark Pionk or a wake up, but... Also, one thing that I didn't even realize, but Chevy had also said it in the presser today too, is that like for people calling for Salamonson, we're carrying 8 defensemen right now. So again, we would have to waive one of them because they're all on one-ways in order to bring up Salamonson or even that Sasha Boumediene who scored the game-winning goal for Sweden in the gold medal game, Jets prospect, unreal. Nice. We'd have to waive a defenseman, and I mean, the only viable guy that you can waive is Luke Shen, who we gave up a second and a fourth for because we're carrying, I mean, obviously our Morrissey DeMello, we're carrying Sandberg Pionk, and then we're carrying Stanley, Shen, Fleury, and Miller.
Yeah. And then speaking of Luke Shen, I texted you guys this when I was in the washroom for something to talk about too, but how about us scratching him on his game in the city that he got drafted into? Like,
I did see that too.
What the fuck is going on with our team, man? We can't do anything right.
I did see that. Yeah, that was very odd. I certainly, especially like with loyalty, again, being like the biggest thing in this organization, I don't know if that was just a colossal F up on Arneal for setting the lines, or like if that was a message, that's a crazy message to send. But I don't know what that was about, because I mean, even if, and we rag on him because I mean, again, at this point, I just don't think that he's NHL caliber. But that is a crazy thing to do.
No, like we've been begging this guy to get scratched all season, and that's the game we decide to do it on.
That's crazy. Yeah,
I saw
that is nuts.
I didn't realize it until
if there was one
tweet.
game I would have liked to have seen him play this year, it would have been that one. I didn't know that was like his 1100 game, but like I don't know. Must have just I don't know what that was, but anyways. Yeah.
Very interesting. But anyway, not really much more, I guess, that we can say at this point. We've kind of touched on everything.
Yeah.
I guess we'll do predictions for the week. We have, obviously, Vegas tomorrow, and then we have the Edmonton Oilers, and then I can't remember who it is before the Islanders.
Kings.
We have the Kings on Friday, and then we have the Devils on Sunday.
Right. So Vegas, Oilers, Kings, Devils. So, wow, that's kind of crazy, actually. So we had 3 and 4 days, and now we've got 4 and 6.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
All at home, though, I think.
Yeah. We have 5 straight at home, which is nice.
Yeah, with 2 games in between.
Yeah.
No, we have 4 straight at home.
5.
Wait.
Knights, Oilers, Devils, Kings, Islanders.
Where is the Islanders game?
The 3rd Tuesday.
Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped ahead. Okay, sorry. Anyways.
Yeah.
Are we doing our next 4 or 5?
Let's just do it for the week. So let's do 4.
Okay.
Vegas. Well, yeah, I think he had a Wi-Fi problem.
That's okay.
I mean, obviously, I want to give us the win against the Oilers, but I think that the Oilers... No. I'm boots on the ground of that game. I'm staying true. I think we lose to Vegas. We beat the Oilers. We beat the Kings. We lose to the Devils. I think we go 2 and 2.
Okay, I think we lose to the Kings, but we beat the Devils. So I'm going 2 and 2.
Okay. I like that.
Please let us beat Edmonton.
I guess since our Oilers correspondent isn't here, we'll do his as well. He's got Predators tomorrow, then Jets, then Kings on Saturday, and then Blackhawks on Monday. Do you want to count that one? 4 games as well, I guess. So they play Predators, which I think will be a win. Jets, which I'm hoping is a loss. Kings, Blackhawks. I think they'll do 3-1, I would say.
That's what I got. 3-1.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we did our Jets predictions, then we just did yours. We think Oilers are going to go 3-1 this week.
Okay,
So
I'm going
Predators, Jets, Kings,
going
Blackhawks.
2-2. I'm going 2-2 for the Jets.
Okay, we did
Beat
2
Vegas.
and 2.
Beat Vegas, lose to the Oilers. Beat Kings, lose to the Devils.
We had similar, but we had lost to Vegas, beat Edmonton. I had beat Kings, lose to Devils. Anton had lose to Vegas, beat Oilers, lose to Kings, beat Devils. So we're 2 and 2 across the board there.
We'll make sure to rough up the Kings for you before your Saturday game, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're going to smoke them on a back-to-back.
And then we both
I
said
don't even know what to say for the Oilers.
we both said 3-1. We said beat Predators, lose to Jets, beat Kings, beat Blackhawks.
And if you don't go 3-1, that's kind of
All right,
embarrassing.
I'm gonna go beat Preds, beat Jets, lose to the Kings, beat the Blackhawks.
Okay. So 2 and 2 and 3-1 across the board. I like it.
Up the pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off.
Okay.
So good talking, and we'll see at
We'll
least
see.
Graham tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'll
Okay,
talk
dude.
to you next week.
There's his.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
Graham, I have something to talk to you about. And it
What
is
about?
that Stranger Things we drunkenly watched at 3 a.m. on New Year's.
Wah, wah.
I ended up getting to go see that the next day in a theater, actually,
That's
which was
cool.
pretty darn cool. Shout out my friend Madison. She takes care of my Opa, and so she had tickets, and her sister dipped out, and so it was perfect. I went to after the Ottawa game,
Hell yeah.
after some game, and yeah, seeing it in the theater was definitely pretty cool and a bit better because it's such a grand episode, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you want to start out. I know you were pretty disappointed with it. What did you think of the finale?
I just thought very safe, very unsatisfying. Like there were so many different fan theories about who dies, who lives, so many unfulfilled or I guess just plot holes, so many things left unanswered. And that, I mean, I think looking back on it now, I think the best part of the entire episode was like the 50-minute epilogue to finish the show. I think they did a lot of good stuff with the characters and their send-off. And I mean, of course, like any TV show that wants to keep making money, they made a lot of opportunities for spin-offs, like the whole Joyce and Hopper Montauk. I'm sure you probably know, but that was originally what the show was supposed to be called. So it was like that could be a whole spin-off. And then also I saw New Rockstars, you had posted something on Instagram about like there's a spin-off series or something coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just like in terms of it all, it just seemed like the build up, the years, all of the money being thrown at it, and then the Duffer Brothers hyping it up with, oh, it's going to be a very dark Christmas and, you know, this, that. It's just, it just did not hit in the way that the OG seasons or even really season 4 hit, you know? It was just, it was a very safe ending. And I mean, again, the whole theory about how Kali had used, like at the end when Mike was explaining the story about how Kali had used her powers to project a vision of Elle, but she had snuck away and then she was in Iceland or something like that. Like, that's another plot hole because Kali literally bled out and died, and then the laboratory was the first thing to blow up, and that was
with all the pregnant women in it.
Yes. Yeah, like I don't know. I mean, in terms of like visuals, there was some awesome things. I loved the whole set of the Mind Flayer being Vecna's layer and then him coming to life too. But I mean, also kind of the fact that Walk 'em Down Wheeler basically just walked out to 250 yards and started rinsing them with an M14, and that injured the Mind Flayers kind of crazy. But that's another thing.
Yeah.
I do really like also the fact that, I mean, Winona Ryder Joyce really had no in the entire season. So I did think that her kind of like bringing it full circle, because I think in episode 1, or at least in the first season, she's carrying around that axe, how it all kind of comes full circle and she's ultimately the one that like finishes him off, which I
and
thought
in
was kind of
season
cool.
1, she's knocking down her own walls in her house to go to the
Yeah.
Upside Down and wherever.
Yeah.
Too, right?
So
like,
I
that
thought
was
that
sort of her
was
weapon.
Yeah, I thought that was a very cool callback. But yeah, I mean, again, a massive plot hole too is that like we're at Vecna's lair. There's no demogorgons, demodogs, demobats. It's literally just him. So that was very odd too. But anyway, ranting
That's pretty bad.
ranting and
pretty
raving
bad.
on. Yeah, it was just like it was incredibly safe. It was, in my opinion, quite poor writing. The visuals were very cool. When you look at it from like just a fan experience, yes, it was a very cool ending because there was lots of very cool visuals, and I really liked the epilogue part. But compared to what that show could have been, it was just a very poor way to end it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd say that was one of my biggest 2, maybe 3 complaints. Was 1, no demogorgons or demobats in all
Anywhere.
when they've been hyping them up the entire show and they're nowhere to be seen. That makes absolutely no sense and dampened the stakes a bit.
Totally.
2 was Will not facing any sort of repercussions for like killing Vecna. They've been hyping up this connection between the two of them. And yeah, he gets that sort of cool moment so Elle can defeat Vecna at the end, but like nothing comes of that.
Yeah.
That made no sense. Now I'm thinking of more. 3, what was the point of Vecna abducting those 12 children?
Yeah.
Why did they have to be children in general? I guess because they're weak of mind or whatever, but that also kind of doesn't make any sense. And then 4, I like you said, the epilogue was really well done, and I liked where everyone's story ended off, and I think they did a pretty good job of that, but I still do think that they should have killed at least one of the characters off.
100% agree.
Just we've been speculating for that for so long, and that's been such a big part of the show is who's going to make it out of this. And just for all of them to make it out, it kind of again, it kills the stakes of it all a little bit. And Vecna, who is such a cool character, he dies in 6 minutes and 30 seconds was as long as that battle was.
I saw
the Will coming out scene was longer than
the entire Vecna scene.
Yeah, which didn't bother me until I saw that. So shout out Twitter for ruining everything that I enjoy, but also that it was way too easy for them to defeat Vecna.
Yeah.
Like you just said, with Nancy Wheeler shooting a M14, and then Lucas has got his
his rocket,
slingshot
wrist
and
rocket.
whatever. Yeah, I guess how are they supposed to do it? Because realistically, how are these kids supposed to defeat Vecna if there's all these demogorgons running around chopping heads off and stuff, or eating people? But
honestly,
I don't know. I think fans deserve just a lot better.
Would you have rather them included all of that and them essentially what's the word I'm looking for? Not dumb down, but I guess make them less powerful. Would you rather them included a bunch of them and have Nancy's M14 be able to kill them and Lucas's wrist rocket be able to hit one in the eye or something? Would you rather have seen that, or would you rather it be done the way it is? What do you think would have been a more ridiculous thing?
Man, and that sort of brings me to my last point in that I enjoyed the episode because despite all these plot holes and stuff, I really don't care. It's a show called Stranger Things. And they already showed Lucas kicking demogorgons, and there's all all this unrealistic stuff going on already, so may as well just steer into that more. So yeah, I would have liked to have seen that, because
or even
they were already doing that.
What I thought would have been really cool, even if it was unrealistic, but Dustin and Steve were carrying around those big spears. Even if they had a scene together, taking down one or two of them, I thought that would have been really cool for their arc.
Yeah.
But I mean,
again, if Lucas is holding Max and a boombox and kicking one of them away,
Yeah.
I think you could show Steve and Dustin spearing a couple of them, and we
I
would
know.
say, okay, that's fine.
I know.
I liked where everyone's characters ended off. It just could have been so much better, and the writing was really, really poorly done this season, and I think fans deserved a lot better. I don't know
agree.
about you. I don't think it was as bad as Game of Thrones. I don't actually know if it was close, but I don't know how you feel about that. Do you think it was worse than the Game of Thrones ending or last season?
No, I was far more invested in Game of Thrones, so seeing that, like how that show came to be and finished, I think is like legitimately one of the biggest travesties in cinema and media history.
Yeah.
Although, like, you know, for how big that this show has gotten, which also there was a gentleman on TikTok that I was watching the other day, and I think you had also maybe pointed out, it's like, I think that because, like, they never intended for the show to become that big and that successful, is that I think that they got away from what the show really was, because there was so much demand for visuals, story arcs, you know, all of that stuff, is that they got away from what it was, which was essentially at the time 9-year-old kids playing D&D and, you know, an odd creature, and then, you know, a girl with powers runs into a little town in Indiana or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it became such a massive thing that they it was so hard to please people, because it created its own massive, you know, arc and story that it was hard to fulfill and satisfy people. But yeah, I mean, for how poor it was done, I think that Game of Thrones is still one of the biggest letdowns ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there was only supposed to be like 1 or 2 seasons of that show. So yeah, to your point, it should have just maybe stopped at, well, I'm glad we got these 5 seasons, but maybe should have just stopped after that. But last point I'll make on this was, I think it's hilarious. I'm not sure if this is a real quote, and I wish I could find it. But like another thing that I agree with on film Twitter is that like the Duffer Brothers have come out and basically said, like, and are explaining things and are like, you know, we wanted to leave that up for the fans to interpret and stuff. And it gets to a point where it's like, okay, you can't let the fans just interpret everything. Like,
I know.
that's the whole point of a finale, is to have concrete answers to some of these things. Like, I like what happened with Robin and Tammy. You know, like the 11 thing was supposed to be ambiguous, so that's fine. I don't know if you can think of any off the top of your head, but like just stuff like that. Like what happened to these
things?
Yeah, like in that 18-month time jump. Like what happened to the military in that, like they just completely let like Hopper, who had killed probably like 50 of their best agents, off the hook in that 18-month time span. Like, you know, what happened with that? And it's like, oh, we'll leave that up to the fans to interpret. It gets to a point where like you can't let the fans interpret everything.
Not a sniff of a scene of Erica either in the epilogue.
Yeah.
Nothing about her, which I thought was kind of crazy. And also just
nothing
like
about
some of the
Murray.
Exactly. Some of the other characters that were like not vital, but like in season 5 that just never got anything in the epilogue either, which was odd.
Yeah.
Or what happened with the whole Susie thing with Dustin. She was never mentioned once in season 5, and she literally saved our lives.
Yeah, the Duffer Brothers came out on that too, and were like, oh, you know, I'd imagine that like Susie and Dustin probably like broke up because, you know, Dustin like was going through so much and stuff and was such a busy kid going through all this. And it's like, okay, well, good thing you told us, because we wouldn't have known. Like the Duffers literally came out yesterday. And again, I'm not sure if this was a true quote, but they were like, we should have never gone in that interview and like explained the ending to this stuff, because this is fucking ridiculous and people are getting so mad at us, and we should have never done that, basically. And it's like, so you're basically admitting that like you left way too much up to fan speculation is what's happening here. Like, I don't know. Anyways, again, it was fine. It was, at least that's what I said in my review on Serialized, was at least we saw the budget.
Yeah, That's fair.
At least all the cinematics and stuff looked pretty cool. But even now I'm seeing like, why did they have to make that scene yellow and stuff like that, and seeing all these like different edits, and it's like, okay, now we're just complaining about anything. Like it's, I don't know. But sad it's done. It's been a show I've been watching since I was 15, 16 years old. And so, you know, all the nostalgia stuff. Like, last thing, someone made an edit of the Elle's death scene, and it was showing like flashbacks between like her and like each character as they were like, no, and stuff like that. And that would have been pretty cool if they did that. Yeah, I don't know. I've just been seeing a lot of people like, now this I would have cried at and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's fair. But, yeah. Anyways, did you have anything else to touch on, or should we call it here?
I don't think so. We did Marty Supreme last one. Yeah, I don't think so.
I'll say this to you. I started Fallout Season 2 has been coming out weekly on Prime Video based off the very highly acclaimed video game. I would highly recommend that you play not only the game, but watch that show as well. They're doing a fantastic job with that show, actually. Kind of The Boys like, but, well.
I was actually looking. There's a lot of like really cool playthrough games that are on sale still from like the holidays that I was kind of looking at maybe downloading.
Okay.
I would kind of want to do The Last of Us. I know it's pretty old, but I think that would be a really fun playthrough. I've done almost the entire story on Red Dead Redemption 2, but I mean, I'm not sure if I'd want to do that again. But even like, I don't know, Last of Us 2 would be cool. The first one would still be cool. DayZ isn't really kind of a playthrough, but that'd be cool. Dying Light, like there's a bunch of those that would kind of be cool, but Fallout is definitely up there.
So
fair.
Anyways,
we should play.
I guess it is a co-op thing, but I'm more of a story person guy.
Fair.
Maybe we could. I don't know. Anyways, okay. I will see you on Thursday for hockey, but I'll talk to you. Thank you for another great, depressing episode. This has been fun. And
here's our outro song. Good pod. First part of the journey.